running that back. This is Rick.
America.
And in honor of the 40th anniversary of Rocky, this is our film review. I guess looking back at the legacy of, like an iconic movie. We just kind of wanted to go over it, talk about it, its sort of cultural significance, its impact on us as, movie lovers, and everything in between, I guess. Well, I don't know. For me, like, it's maybe like, at least like maybe like my top 20 all time. Maybe might even be higher than that, to be honest. It might even sneak into the top 10.
I think looking back at the movie, because I've seen it a bunch of times already, but just the significance that it has in pop culture and movies, and it's had for 40 fucking years, like it's been relevant for this long. It's spawned so many sequels and even like a spin-off now with Creed.
And Adrian's Revenge.
Adrian's Revenge. This movie's awesome. I think the best thing that we got was, well, obviously, Sylvester Stallone's career just kind of kicked off from here, and then it just he blew up huge after this. And then I think Rocky, the character himself, is I think one of my favorite movie characters of all time. I think that's honestly like the beauty in this movie is you just take someone. Because basically, it's a really simple story. It's just an underdog story, pretty much. Apollo Creed plays like this cock. He's supposed to be kind of like Muhammad Ali, I guess, right? Isn't that kind of like the character that they were trying to?
Actually that guy Chuck Webner, that boxer, he sued Sylvester Stallone, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because he said that he pretty much based the idea of Rocky like on his character after his fight with Muhammad Ali.
Oh.
Yeah, at least I think that's what had happened.
Yeah, but why would he sue him? That's fucked up.
Well, they're just trying to get paid. That's why.
Yeah,
It's like a movie blew up.
Yeah, and another thing too. This is like one of the percentage wise, like this is like one of the most profitable movies ever, right? Is it like top?
Yeah,
2 or 3?
It was like super.
Because the budget was like $1 million.
Yeah, it was like super like.
And they made like over 200 million.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how much money.
I think from what I heard, there was like no like fancy trailers, no like craft services.
Well, they filmed it in like less than a month.
I think they said that was like it was just like they just ate pizza for like every meal.
Yeah, they filmed it in like less than a month.
Yeah.
So like you can tell at times like the budget, was really tight because there's a lot, especially I think the fighting is kind of where it stands out the most. Like where you can tell that they were on a tight budget because. Looking back at it, like the fight scenes in the original Rocky film, like they're not all that great, Like even like the first opening fight sequence when he's fighting, what was the guy's name?
At the beginning?
Yeah.
I forgot.
I forgot his fucking name, but actually there's like a flashback to that too later on in the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, he like that opening fight sequence, even like the fight, the big fight at the end with Apollo Creed, like you can tell some of those scenes they probably didn't have money to reshoot them, There's a bunch of those punches that you can tell they didn't even make contact. So, this movie was just made like on a really tight budget, but what they were able to do in that time and with the script that Sylvester Stallone wrote was fucking awesome. And not only that, but the score.
Yeah, I was going to say just like so many things. For as low budget as the movie was, like so many things are iconic at this point about that movie. Like the run up the stairs, like the fighting montage, the training montage. Which we pretty much get in every movie. In the Rocky series, and even in Creed too, they brought that back.
This shit's fun. Everybody wanted to do a training montage after that.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I think the guy's name was Garrett Brown. He pretty much invented the Steadicam, and this was one of the very first movies that ever used Steadicam. That's why you get like the shots of him running up the stairs, like the him running along the docks.
Stanley Kubrick wanted to use the Steadicam for The Shining after he saw Rocky.
Then he used that obviously like when he's running along the docks, and that whole training montage. It was really like. And then Steadicam pretty much just changed the game after this movie came out.
Yeah.
But Rocky yelling Adrian at the end. There's just like so many things. Mickey. There's just Paulie. Just has so many memorable characters. It's iconic. Like you can quote it. I think you were saying like the music by Bill Conti is like maybe like one of the best movie soundtrack scores ever.
Yeah.
Even if you've never seen a Rocky movie, like you can hear that music.
You hear the music.
You hear like Alone in the Ring, any of those songs, and like you like
fly now. Yeah.
Yeah, and like what it is.
Yeah, it's so fucking iconic. It's the impact that it had on pop culture. There's very few movies that have held, like this much of a significance in that amount of time. Like we're coming up on 40 years for Star Wars too. Obviously Star Wars speaks for itself, but like this movie, for it to be over 40 years old now, and for it to be as relevant as it is, like now we have like more likely Creed's gonna get like its own series now. But like looking
Yeah.
back at it, like if it wasn't for Rocky starting this in the beginning, we would have never had any of this, you know.
Yeah.
Not only that, but then we had you know, like all these fucking movies come out after that. Sylvester Stallone. I mean, like Sylvester Stallone's career blew up because of this movie, and not only that, but I mean Sylvester Stallone did a lot of great action movies after that too. So I mean, just the significance that this film has, like, and just in pop culture,
Yeah.
you know, not even so much. I mean, yeah, in cinema, but just overall, you know. Just,
And all he had to go through to get the movie made. I mean, he wrote it himself.
they didn't even want him to be in the movie at first.
No, but he knew he had to be in this movie. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't even know what other actor at the time really could have held that role down.
Didn't they want to get James Conner? Didn't they? Like, it was like
Oh yeah, I think it
was
was,
like one of the
actually,
characters.
but
Or
yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously now you can say, well,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine James Caan in that role, but
yeah.
I mean, it's just so Rocky, especially just because he played. I mean, like obviously, like Rocky's like a little bit of a dumbass.
A little bit, he's a fucking idiot. Dude.
Yeah, and then everybody's a dick to him, like in pretty much like in every movie, I guess.
Yeah, everybody's a dick to him.
And he's like the nicest guy, and like
Yeah.
everybody's like an asshole to him.
Yeah, like it's
But-
just the character himself, you know, like I think that's like one of the most like lovable characters in cinematic history, you know, like looking back at it and like the whole relationship that you know, like between him and Adrian was kind of like they kind of both, you know, like both of those characters kind of like they became something greater once they came together, you know, like after that whole scene when she didn't even want to go out with him because fucking Polly like pretty much yelled at her to go out with Rocky.
Pretty
And then-
much, he fucking threw out like the
He
damn
threw out
dinner.
the turkey. He threw out the turkey. He threw the turkey out the door, and he was yelling at her to go out with Rocky. The relationship that they had, you know, between Rocky and Adrian, you know, and how that evolved throughout the series. Even it's kind of weird because it seems like Rocky gets smarter as the series progresses, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
he gets less and less stupid.
Yeah, yeah. He actually he learns how to read and shit.
And he learns how to read.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, just you know, like I said, all the characters, the music, but really, it's like the ultimate underdog tale.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that you know, like we could all relate to Rocky. He was just like a regular guy, you know, like fighting for what $10, $20, whatever.
Like,
how-
fucking $50.
however much he was fighting for.
Yeah, something like that.
And I mean, he gets like a, you know, literally like a 1 in a million shot to fight, you know, the best of the best.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers, you know, playing Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one of the most memorable. Well, initially was a villain, and then ends up becoming, you know, Rocky's best friend
Yeah.
as the series progresses. But
But yeah, the rivalry between like how it evolved from, you know, part 1 to part 2, you know,
Yeah.
and how it escalated was awesome.
yeah, which I think is why it's like on a different topic. But I think that was one of the problems with. Not, I mean, I love Creed, but that's not so much a problem. It's just that I kind of wish that moving on, they kind of get like another big name actor, or like at least like another actor that can hang with the main guy. You know, that's like a worthy villain, because that's initially what we got. I mean, we had. You know, you had Apollo Creed, then there was Clubber Lang.
And Rocky's always kind of
Drago.
been known for its villains, you know, for
Yeah.
like its opponents, for
Yeah.
Rocky's opponents.
Like Thunder Lips. I mean, they just had like all. Yeah, like it always had like a memorable. He was always fighting like a memorable opponent.
yeah,
And you know, later on the series kind of went away from that, and even like Creed. I mean, like the main guy he fought, and at the end of that was like really kind of like unmemorable. But
yeah.
but
But I
you
mean,
know,
that's one of the things that made Rocky great was the you know, like Apollo Creed's character, like counter to Rocky, you know, like he was just like this cocky bastard, and he's like the complete opposite of what Rocky was. Like
Yeah.
Rocky was like the most humble, like fucking guy, and then this guy comes in and he's like taunting him, talking shit. Like when they had that little press conference, remember he was like trying to get in his face, and
yeah,
Rocky would just fucking like, oh, like I forgot what he said, but he just like whatever about it. Oh, I'm just gonna try my best, you know, like he didn't really like give a shit, you know.
yeah. I mean, he was pretty much kind of like Floyd Mayweather before Floyd Mayweather,
Yeah, pretty
just like
much.
the ultimate shit talker.
Yeah.
And then John Avildsen, which I mean, really, like he doesn't get enough credit, I think, as a director. I mean, really, like what did he do after this? I'm trying to remember.
I don't even know. I mean,
I know he did another good movie. I was trying-
oh yeah, but I mean, Rocky was like, obviously his biggest fucking, you know. Well, I mean, actually,
Yeah.
didn't he come back to film another Rocky movie? I think he
did he
filmed-
do Balboa or did he
No,
do?
bitch, I think did he do the second one? Or did
No,
Sylvester
so
Stallone
this
do
is one of the second one.
He did like the next 3 or 4, didn't he? I don't know, but I think he might have filmed. He might have done, but I don't know. Yeah, I think he did one more of the Rocky movies. But I mean, besides Rocky, really, like, I'm not sure what else he did. I mean, obviously he's known for directing Rocky.
I mean, aside from being, you know, really low budget, and even like the way it was, like the story itself was an underdog story. It was like even the movie itself. I mean, nobody really expected anything from it, and then when it won Oscars, it was Oscar nominated.
Yeah. I mean, and I think honestly, like that's what cemented this movie as one of the greatest of all time. It's underdog. It could be anything, you know. It could be like going to school or trying to succeed or do whatever, or even like trying to like a lot of people. I mean, I do like when I work out, sometimes I'll listen to some like music, you know, from the Rocky series, you know, like whatever it is. Like if you're just trying to excel at something, you're trying to overcome any obstacle. Like this is like the movie that comes to mind. At least to me, it does, you know. And I think that's part of the reason why it's so relevant now, you know, because you could apply it to almost anything, you know, and just like the idea of the concept of overcoming, you know, like a great obstacle or just, you know, being able to stand up and fight, you know, like how Rocky did, because Rocky said like I don't care like if I win or lose, like I just want to go the distance, you know, like I just want to prove to myself that I can hang with this guy, you know, and just that alone, you know, like that's what I think makes this movie great.
That's like one of my favorite like dialogues in the movie is that one where it's like the night. It was like the night before the fight.
Before
I think,
the
right?
fight, yeah.
Yeah, and he has that talk with Adrian in bed, and you know he gives her that whole speech, and like I like even just like even I remember the first time I was watching it. I mean, I didn't appreciate it until I got older, but I remember like when I was like a teenager and I saw that like I could really relate to what he said. I mean, we can all really relate to what he said. You know, I mean, we've always been in that position where, you know, people don't expect the things from us that we know that we can achieve. You know, maybe we don't see it in ourselves, but other people see it. I mean, obviously, well, I mean, him and Mickey's relationship was kind of strained anyway, but you know, and then Mickey kind of like he saw like, you know, Rocky had this chance, and you know he got back in his good graces. But I mean, he brought that out in him. You know what I mean? He trained him. I mean, Adrian kind of made him, you know, fall in love, made him appreciate life in a different way, and like, you know, it's these things that molded him into becoming, you know, being able to, you know, go the distance with Apollo. And I mean, and I think it was always like real great. And I think like the original ending was a lot different than what came in the movie. But I think it was perfect the way that he ended. The fact that he lost, I think, is like, you know, like you finally, you know, he goes like the distance was like 15 rounds or something like that.
15 rounds, yeah.
Goes 15 rounds with Apollo, makes it to the end, and like, you know, I mean, he pretty much just got his ass beat, you know, for like, you know, for an hour, and he doesn't even care. Like the fight ends, and he's like jumping around. He's looking for Adrian.
Yeah.
You know, like that iconic.
And he was awesome. That's
like that iconic shot of like, you know, her running through the crowd into the ring, and like, you know, they're announcing Apollo as the winner. But, you know, in reality, Rocky is acting like he's the one that won. You know, he doesn't even care that he lost. You know, the decision, you know, they're raising Apollo Brown. They're raising Apollo Creed like up on their shoulders, and, you know, they're carrying him off. And, you know, it doesn't even matter. You know, Adrian runs in and they hug, and that's it. You know, like the music peaks and like the movie ends, and, you know, you just like he lost and you still feel like he won. And I mean, that's always stuck with me. I still I think every time I watch that movie, like it still gets to me, like every single time that
awesome.
I watch
like,
that.
Yeah, it's the ending, the music, everything. Like I just think you know how the movie wraps up at the end. It's like perfect, you know. And they kind of followed that throughout the series, you know. Like that ending was like, I think it was such a great ending that they kind of try to do the same thing in every movie after that, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that original ending, you can't top it. Like it's fucking awesome.
And really, like after this one, I mean, the second one was still pretty decent.
I like the second one.
The second one was still good.
I've liked all of the whole series, really, except for 5. 5 fucking sucks.
Yeah, they've got. Well, I don't want to say they've gotten worse, but I think like the first one was the best one, and like I think the order that they're in is
except
sort
for
of
5,
like,
because 5 was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. But then I think Creed kind of picked it back up. Like Creed was the shit. I think Creed was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but is that really part of the Rocky franchise?
I still consider it part of the franchise.
Yeah, it is. I would
Rocky's still one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and Apollo is like still mentioned a lot in that too. So I mean, I'd consider it part of it. But I mean, like even the second one was great. I mean, like the fight was a lot better in the second one.
Yeah.
The third one, obviously, like Clubber Lang is like one of the like the best villain, maybe the best villain like in the whole franchise.
Drago.
Yeah, Drago too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that. I mean, it really. Like they all weren't as good as the first one was. It's not as iconic as the first one was, but I mean, it kicked off like
they built off. Of
I mean, and the fact that it's still going. I mean, Creed just came out last year.
Yeah. It's been 40 years now since the first one, and they're still able to make movies.
Yeah,
I mean, that alone tells you, how big. I mean, really, how many besides Star Wars, how many movies from like 40 years ago are still making sequels? You know. Yeah. Like, really, I mean, Rocky's really the only ones. I mean, there's like a handful here and there, but, I mean, there's only a couple, and this is one of them.
And obviously, you know, we're huge fans of the whole franchise in general, but that first one, that first one is incredible. It's like one of those movies that I think, like everybody should watch. Even if you're not a movie fan, like, whatever. Like, I mean, that's one of those movies, like, you have to watch. It's just like, such a piece of, like, cinematic history. Like I said, maybe even for me, like maybe like in my top 10 of all time. Like that's one of those movies like just like I'm always down to watch it again. And it probably is like you still always catch little details like on multiple viewings that you didn't catch the first time. You always take something different away from that movie that you didn't get the first time around. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't. I don't know what to tell you guys if you're watching this and you haven't seen it. I'm guessing pretty much all of you have.
Yeah.
If you haven't, fix that and go watch it like right now. Like turn this shit off right now and go watch that shit because it's one of the best movies ever made. Seriously. So let us know your thoughts. What were some of your favorite moments from this movie? Obviously from the whole Rocky franchise, but this movie in particular. What do you think about? How does it relate to you? Can you relate to the story in any way? I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us can. But some of your favorite moments, your favorite characters, favorite dialogue, whatever you want, just leave that down in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Give us a thumbs up if you can, and we'll have some more content coming up for you soon. And we'll catch you on the next one.